Durham Conservative MP Richard Holden. Welcome to the Breakfast Show again, Richard.
Hi Alfie, how are you doing?
All good, thank you very much. So the County Council says work's already ongoing to refurb the DLI Museum and develop a new venue for it. So it looks like your wishes come true. This is what you wanted, isn't it?
Well, we're incredibly supportive of the work of the joint administration, which has been the Conservatives, Liberal Democrats and many of the independent councillors in County Durham, because obviously this was closed in 2016 under the last administration, and what they've done is brought these plans forwards. All we're saying today is that there's £125,000 that we weren't expecting, because we got the Capital of Culture top four, and we want that money to be part of that supercharging for the next bit, which we're hoping is going to be for the 2029 County of Culture. And we think by linking that money straight in to a big cultural project in the County Durham would be really helpful. And also it allows the council to then spend that money that would have gone, and they weren't expecting it from this, they can spend it on anything else that they're interested in, particularly in our local communities. So it will free up other money which can be used more broadly for other things, which is, I think, what we'd all like to see at the moment.
You mentioned Labour, that Labour are making the point there's already a museum being created that houses lots of the exhibits from the DLI at Mount Oswald, and that costs millions to open, and that reopening the DLI is a waste of many millions of pounds of taxpayers' money, they say, given the cost of living crisis, food banks. Is this a little bit out of touch with what people really need?
Well, that's exactly one of the reasons why we're saying use this money, which is earmarked specifically for cultural projects, straight from main cultural project. And I think one of the other things we need to do is look more broadly at how we can turbocharge the economy for our region going forward. Yes, we didn't get the full City of Culture thing, but we got through to the final four, and we can really need to make the most of that, which I think means, yes, the Durham History Centre at Mount Oswald, yes, this new art gallery, and working with the DLI Museum in Akeley Heads area. Let's do both of those, because we need to have jobs for the future and create Durham as an absolute cultural hub, not just in the city, but across the county. And we're just saying, use the money, which we've got unexpectedly, tie it all together, and also that will help our next bid, because this was the first time that County Durham had bid. I know Councillor Hopgood, Councillor Scott, Councillor Bell, Councillor Shuttleworth, Councillor Shields, working really well together on that joint administration. And I just want to see as much as possible as of the best chance next time in 2029.
You seem very keen on pushing this next bid. Whereas, I don't know whether Sunderland have continued to bid again. They didn't bid again, but what they did was they continued the momentum, and we saw lots of cultural developments. They've got a cultural quarter there and lots of exciting things. You're obviously going to carry on that momentum. Why is it important to bid again?
Well, that's one of the reasons I want this money going straight into the DLI Museum and new art centre, because I think getting that momentum going is really is absolutely vital. Now, Sunderland took a slightly different approach, but I think that down the line we need to be thinking how can we possibly keep the economy generation going for this new arts thing for across the county, because I don't think that we'll get as much of it as we would from getting that final capital of cultural status, which is what I want to do. I thought Durham's bid was particularly innovative because it represented places like mine in Northwest Concert, Crook, the Weir Valley, and not just the city itself.
Absolutely,
and that's the interesting thing, I think, about Durham's bid. And to get to that final four, just miss out, I really think that we need to be planning for the long term and to how we can pull as much as we can together for the future to see that success down the line.
Richard, while I've got you on, I've got to quickly ask you about fuel prices this morning. It's dominated the show. What do you make of the government asking the UK's competition watchdog to review petrol station operators? There are worries that the retailers haven't passed on that 5p cut to fuel duty. In fact, the day that was announced, or the day after, they went up in many cases.
Yeah, no, look, this is something that I know affects huge numbers of people across our region, and I know in my quite rural constituency in particular. One of the things I want to see is that money pass straight through, because the Competition and Markets Authority really, they're the people who's trying to stop this cartel-like activity. It's something I've been raising on a local level, because fuel prices in Concert seem to have been stubbornly high compared to some of the other local areas as well. So I think there might be some localised work that can be done on that too. But I think the broader issue at the moment, the petrol prices have spiked and diesel prices following the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Now, that's the big issue, and I think the government needs to do everything we can to help out. I'm not against further looks at cuts to the fuel duty to try and help people, but we've got to make sure it's passed on. Otherwise, it's totally pointless.
A windfall tax on the fuel companies, perhaps.
Well, that's what we've announced, a big windfall tax on the energy companies, an extra 25%.
Well, on the energy companies, but the fuel companies as well, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's on the electricity companies is something that's being looked at as well at the moment. So I think we need to have a look at this across the board, because people shouldn't be making massive profits from basically what's the tragedy of the war in Ukraine. And if those profits can be used to build Britain's energy security, then that's great. But I think we've got to see them have a real stick on that, which is why I've been backing the government's windfall levy.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning, as usual. That was Conservative North West Durham MP Richard Hall.
Alfie, Joey